Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Okay, it is on. Hiya, I'm V. This is an unscheduled stream that's probably gonna last like 1 hour max. Um, I you can tell I'm not prepared for this. No, how would you know if how would you know if if what were you saying no to? Hmm, I'm stupid. Anyway, yeah, the title is accurate. Unscheduled car stuff. I don't really know what else to. Wouldn't know if your mic was working since currently cannot hear me. Ah, dang. I guess I'm guess. I don't know. Is the tracking dying right now? Sometimes. It is occasionally. I'm gonna limit my head movement then because it doesn't. It's not tracking my mouth very well right now, is it? Hmm. Let me see if I can fix that. Is this working better? Very, very slightly. Okay. Cool. Anyway, we're gonna be. I have the rulebook, prototype rulebook anyway, for more BeamNG racing stuff. Because I'm a crazy person who thinks writing rulebooks is fun. Real? Yeah. Anyway. Hooray. It's the game audio is not working. What? No, it's just not working. Hang on. Is that better? I think it's better. I'll turn it down a little bit just so you guys can hopefully hear what I'm saying while I'm driving. Anyway, hooray, more race car stuff. Unfortunately, I can't. Well, so as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, the rulebook is fairly balanced, except for the Ibishu Miramar because I can't get the right width tire on it. Or front wheel drive cars, mostly that's a skill issue on my part, though. Um, but or skill issue in rear wheel drive too. That's an option. I've figured out that if I just limit how powerful the radiator can be, I can just have all of the cars be balanced that way. Also, I know I'm using the multiplayer HUD, but it's not in multiplayer. That's not gonna be this stream, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to get a new, probably PC if I want to have more multiplayer, or more than just like me and one other person multiplayer BeamNG streams. But that's I'm not used to the Miramar, okay? I don't know how to drive it very well. Anyway, today's pretty much just gonna be me messing around seeing what cursed things or normal things I can make with the rulebook and then also see how balanced they are. And we're not gonna use this track for testing. I'm not used to this thing. Also, I'm on controller because my steering wheel is still broken. Okay then. So, what track are we gonna be using? Well, I have quite a few modded maps, including... I scrolled past it. Here we go. The home of endurance racing, because yes, this is going to be an endurance racing series. If anyone's willing to stick around 4 hours on one of my streams, which is already stretching it. um, well, who knows? Maybe, maybe not. I'll figure something out. Very intriguing. Yeah, and if not, then I'll either I'll probably just have the rulebook in the back of my mind for a while. But if people don't show up, or if only a few, well, if only a few people show up for it, that's fine. The rest of the people who just want to tune in periodically. Why did I go to the map? Why is the map broken? Oh, that's not normal. Anyway, I guess we can't view the circuit. Um, anyway, back to the car stuff. Do you guys want me to read all of the rules out to you for at least the first class, which I'm calling Class 88, or Group 88, I guess would be more fitting. And also, which car should I use? Actually, there is... Okay, so the rules are for which cars I can use. Anything before 2010 that can use the customizable radiator. Anything else is off limits, but so technically, these are allowed. I believe. Actually, let me just see if they are. Hang on. I think they are. Radiator. Yep. Then wheels. Yep. Nope. Never mind. I stand corrected. The front tires are too large and cannot be changed. Dang. That was about to be so funny. Man. The Brook L9 is technically allowed, though, which is interesting. The Civetta... Oh goodness, that's a lot. This thing is technically allowed, I believe. Yeah, I think. First one of the day. And I'll talk about the relevant rules as I'm going through. Midnight? Oh. Alright. Oh yeah, different time zone stuff. Anyway, have a good one. Hope you can either watch the VOD, or if you don't want to, that you spend your time doing something you enjoy. Okay, I can't open anything on this. That's so funny. What's under here? Oh, just the radiator. Okay. Anyway, so relevant rules for what we're doing. There's technically no rules on the amount of driven wheels you can have. That might actually be a pretty cool loophole that I might leave in because this thing sucks anyway to drive around a track, if I remember correctly. But yep. Oh. Oh, that might be a problem. Never mind, it's not at all. Rear driven wheels on non-all-wheel drive vehicles, the driven wheels, maximum width of 12 inches. Where is it? Is there silver? No, there's no silver. It's a bummer, I like silver. Don't want a spare wheel. Get rid of that, that's extra weight. Undriven wheels can have a maximum width of 9 inches. See what? Those are gray. And you can use whatever tire you want. Any of them. So you can use the normal option like a sane person and go with the dedicated race tires. Race rear tires. So this would be what a sane person would do with this car, but technically you could go and use any, and I don't think BeamNG, I don't, yeah, you could use all-terrain tires. I don't know why you would use all-terrain tires. I guess if you wanted to mess around, but they're an option. Um, no spare tire holder. Gone. Removed. Actually, drag tires. What would that do on here? I mean, I kind of fit. It'll be close, but I guess you can put more power down. Maybe we'll stick those on later. Let's stick to normal race rear tires for the moment, at least. It must have all bodywork, but extra stuff. So like these. Oh, where are they? Roof bars. Here we go. Yeah, no, those can go. The bash bar, that can go. Actually, I'm just gonna put a nose cone support on it because, yeah, that would be necessary bit of bodywork. It's just I also have to then remove all of the other stuff to get it to work. LED light bar can leave. Oh, that's a lot. You can make all of the... Mm, that's still allowable. Race front subframe is still allowed. You can slap all of the GTR stuff on it, I guess. There's nothing against what I'm doing, I'm just making it faster. Yeah, race coilovers and everything, that's allowed. I'm gonna switch it to this just for consistency. Unless I can make the rear wheels also on the center lug hubs. Because that gives me a better option for the wheels. Which would be nice, but if it's not possible, then I really don't care. No. Okay. We cannot, sadly. That is a bummer. 15 by 7s. Those are not gonna withstand. Wait. Is this thing all-wheel drive? Middle differential. No, it's not all-wheel drive. The front wheels are unpowered. Probably should have expected that. Anyway. Why is there a front final drive then? Huh. That's interesting. Um, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be there. I assume it is. In which case, we just test. No, they are not powered. Now I have to switch those back to the race tires. That's fine. Alright, well that's the front end mostly done. Let me just... do all of this. Because this is technically allowable. There's no rules against what I am doing. Um, I'm not sure why you would do what I'm doing. Because the 4 rear wheels make it nearly unbearable to drive. I don't know. Let me just give it empty. It's paint scheme. For my own sanity. Oh, is it gonna have... Yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust all of these. Huh. Although I guess it'll give you more grip and braking especially. This is such a cursed creation. Let's give it a cursed engine as well. Why not? Just because I can. Is the front end powered? I didn't see anything happening. I don't think it is. Does that only go to... Huh. Okay, that's interesting. Anyway. Lightweight interior. Let's go with the stripped interior. And the lightweight dashboard. Just because I can. No one's stopping me. This is... I don't know if I like this or not. I mean, it's interesting. That is a precarious position for the fuel tanks. Oof. Anyway, the radiator. The reason it's called Class 88, if anyone is watching and wants to partake in whatever this is, first of all, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna make this a... Can I get rid of those? Yes, I can. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make this into an actual thing, just because I don't know how many people are gonna be in it. But if I do, the radiator is the most important part. This is like the only thing you need to know for me to be like, okay, I'll allow it. You go to get the RK's ultra customizable or customizable engines and well, maybe transmissions, but that isn't a necessity. It's nice to have, but it isn't required. You'll do fine without it. But anyway, radiator, ultra customizable performance radiator from the RK customizable engine mods. That is the important bit. That is the most important bit. You're going to scroll down to... Where is it? Where's the radiator? Here we go. I went right past it. Coolant volume, 7 liters. Radiator area, 0.75. Radiator effectiveness, 8,800 or well, 8,800. And fan speed stays at 20. Beyond that, you can change the radiator fan temperature and the thermostat temperature, but it shouldn't really change too much about how it performs. It'll just kind of keep it at lower temperatures earlier on, so if you want to do that, you can. Now then, that's it. That's the important bit. Everything else is like, you can just practice on that. I really don't care if you're running the wrong size tires for practice. For like an actual race, if I start this, maybe, but I really won't care too much. I mean, the rules allow this cursed object to enter, so... Alright. And then the rest of it, I mean, as long as you get the engine to not overheat, it's fine. I'm just going to show you what I do for the engine. You can run a stock engine, or a stock BeamNG engine. Hang on, let me just pull out the UI apps that I like to use. No, this is not multiplayer. It just says it is because I'm using multiplayer apps. Well, that is a problem. This car might not be able to do it, actually. Huh. Yeah, but just 7 gears max and not dual clutch or automatic is the rules for this. That's it. Is there another engine I can use? No. Oof. This might not be able to be good. I mean, it's still allowable, but... Ugh. Not looking too good for it. Not at the moment. Yeah, no. Can I get some more horsepower by just chopping off the exhaust? A little, but not much. 306 is the only... Okay. So this car maybe not that good of an option. Also, yes, it still sucks to drive. I'll get another car for the demonstration, but... Man! This was... I was thinking that I would have a funny thing. That's not normal. Yeah, 300 horsepower is not quite enough for this series. Oop. Wonder why the engine mod won't activate or isn't usable on this car. It might just be that this car was added, or this subframe was added, and because the engine is completely different and tied to the subframe for this car, or at least for this subframe, it won't work because it doesn't recognize it, or the code was never put in. Oop. Twitchy. Bit of a bummer. Maybe in a lower class, I guess. I can see, but I don't want to put rules specifically so that this thing can work. Is it pulling to the right a little bit? It is. Oh. That's not exactly ideal. See the fuel tank? Alright, well, let's figure out something. Why do I keep exiting to the map? Why? Why do I keep doing this? What is wrong with me? Alright, let's go with a more conventional car. Let's go with the Ibishu Pessima. That way I can also show off all-wheel drive. I'm gonna start off with the normal touring car, racing one. Just 'cause. Okay. It's a car. It has 4 wheels, there's nothing special about it. All-wheel drive is allowed in the series. Because, I don't know, I felt like it. I wanted to have a bunch of different cars all competing in the same class, and I figured out how to do that, so I'm making that happen if people want to join. Diesel is sadly not allowed because it's broken and won't overheat no matter what I try. So, we cannot run diesel. What? It's just straight up not. Okay, well, I'll just go to the differentials immediately. There we go. That'll work. You are technically supposed to have a roll cage, but I don't think I'm really gonna care. It's like, if you have it, you have it. If you don't, sure, go ahead. Why did it stop using the race suspension stuff? And why did it stop using the race everything? What the heck? What is this? Also, 9-inch wide tires are the maximum you can have on all-wheel drive. You cannot have, like, that's just to make it so that, yes, you can accelerate faster, but also in the corners you can have a little bit less grip to work with. Just to make it more fair. Because all-wheel drive has advantages, and I didn't want it to just be everyone using rear or all-wheel drive, because that's not fun. Well, it is, but I have other ideas. There we go. Why is it sitting so high up? What the heck? I think I'm gonna ban the GTRX rear wing at least. Maybe the splitter's fine. But the GTRX wing, maybe not. I think I'm gonna stop people from using that at the very least. I misspelled bumper. I'm disappointed. What is this? Huh. Okay. What it? I do not use this in car enough. I mean, it is just a blob, but still. It's fun to drive from time to time. We will be getting rid of that inline 4, though. I'm thinking of putting something absolutely insane in this car for no reason at all. Should I do that? I might do that. We'll start off with just putting a V6 in it, and then move to whatever insane stuff I can come up with. Alright, 7, not 8. That would be not within the rules. Probably turn down the spring height a little bit. Hopefully the springs don't let it slam into the ground. Hopefully. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna like set all of this to ball bearings and straight cut gears. And then, yeah, I'm gonna stick to like a V6 at the start, and then we'll move up to. Nah, we don't got much time this stream. We got like 40 minutes left. Let's go straight to the crazy stuff. V12. Air filter box has to be either stock or clogged. The alternator, you can use whatever. The block, you can use whatever. Boost pipe can't be the big aluminum boost pipe. Plastic charge, or the charge pipe just can't be the bigger aluminum charge pipe. That's, or the removed one. Connecting rod bearing, I have no preference for whatever you guys use, but I'm going to use the high RPM, low friction one. You're not allowed to use indestructible parts in the engine, but other than that, go crazy. You're not allowed to use dry steel, or dry any cylinder liners. The ECU has to be the pre-programmable ECU. Fuel pump really doesn't matter. Compression ratio, honestly, I also didn't put anything into this. Like, you run whatever. Ignition system, run whatever. Intercooler, just not the big performance intercooler. Uh, Oil cooler can't be the ultra oil cooler. Uh, what else? What else is off limits? What else is off limits? I don't think I restricted. I think I got rid of the rule restricting it to 60mm ITBs. Yeah, I got rid of that rule, so you run whatever throttle body you want. And however, yeah, no, just run whatever number of throttle valves you want. I really won't stop you from doing anything. 4 valves per cylinder, so you can either run you can either run 2 exhaust and 2 intakers, or you can be an insane person and do this. I don't know why you would do that, but if you want, it's an option. What else? Once again, no indestructible parts on the engine, no VTEC, no water methanol injection. Water reservoir has to be only big water reservoir, and no, that isn't tied to the water methanol injection. Cylinder head, I think I took out the optimized high RPM DOHC and all the ported ones. Engine block, just run anything. If it's an engine block, it's allowed. Optimized anything for like the exhaust or intake is not allowed. The rest of them you can run whatever. So these two are also banned. This, run whatever. Fuel injection, run whatever. I think that's it. Oh, no, I got rid of that rule. Never mind. I'd recommend having like 800 or so horsepower to start out with, just to make sure you don't overheat, because the radiator does restrict the amount of power you can put out without the engine melting. I think 13,000 RPM is like the upper limits of what you can pull without the engine starting to scream at you and then blow up. So I think this is about as high as I wanna. No, it can go higher. Never mind. I'm gonna push it to about 800 and then figure out from there. This is a cursed way to have. No, I don't like this. Camshaft can be whatever you want. You know what? Hmm. I'm testing something. That is much too. That's way too much power. Ooh, that's not good. This. You know what? Let me just show you what happens. Why is power only getting to the front wheels? Well, I gotta fix that. Ooh, hang on. You know what might be the problem? Yep. Can only have 6 speed if we want all-wheel drive. That's fine. It won't hinder. Transfer case, all-wheel drive, flywheel, ultralight, and that should be fine now. This is what happens when you run too much power. Because I think to start it off, I'm gonna use this track. Man, I cannot drive on controller at all. Still not in my brain. Here we go. We're also not going to use the chicanes because I feel like it and it's my racing series, so I get to say what tracks and layouts we use. Now, if you look at the temperature gauge in the bottom right, that's a little concerning for only being at the start of the straight, and you can begin to see steam coming out of... Yep. And now the engine is permanently damaged. That is why you cannot run too much horsepower. You will just break the engine. Also, I don't know if there's a way to stop it from overheating after that happens, because you just kind of have to wait, but that's gonna take a while. So yeah, too much horsepower is you're gonna melt the engine, and because you can't make the radiator any better, that is a significant problem. So you do have to find ways to limit the horsepower. Or at least limit the temperature it puts out, which typically limits the horsepower. How do you guess? Huh. Crazy, isn't it? We did actually make more horse, but that's... He was what with... Also, the race velocity stacks are banned, I believe. But, there we go. Short intake manifold saved us by being really bad. How? How is the race short intake manifold? I'm not even gonna question it. Why is the homemade intake making that much power? Anyway, I think I'm mainly just gonna limit it to like 12,000, 10,000 maybe. Still pretty high revving engine. That's not enough power anymore. Why did it? There we go. So what was I about to do? I had a plan and it's all gone now. My brain has stopped functioning. You see if I can limit the power at higher RPM and then pump the power up at lower. Fun fact, even if you have DOHC, you can run an overhead cam cylinder head, and it'll still work. It'll just give less airflow, which is exactly what I want right now. Alright, I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get it. What was I about to do? I don't even remember. Alright, the fuel pump. Thought I was about to crash. Anyway, if you get the horsepower just right, that's too much. That is a lot too much. That will melt the engine. That's still a little too much. That's... Hmm. Hmm. Is that better? I think that's a bit better. That'll probably be fine. That's fine. That's fine. If you get it just right, and I know that we're not going to be fully heated up, so it might not overheat where it normally would. But if you get it about right, you'll end up with, depending on the drag coefficient of your car, you'll end up between 210 and 230 miles an hour without overheating, depending on the gearing as well. That's another important thing. And they don't accelerate too differently. Some engines are better at low end, some engines are better at high end. This engine is much better at high end, as you can see by the power graph. It reaches that speed, and I have completely messed up the gear ratios, so we are going to be 5th gear for max speed instead of 6th. 6th gear is going to be completely useless, but we haven't overheated, which is the important part. This engine might, over the course of a whole race, begin to overheat, which is expected. It's pushing out 840, and normally you'd be pushing out 820 or less. 840 is really pushing it, so... Oh. Less curbs. I almost... If I had been turning a little bit more, that would have been slightly problematic. Yeah, 6th gear is not doing anything in this car. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, but that's the general idea of the racing series. And you can make some truly cursed engines. Here, I'll make one. Uh, I'll make one right now, actually, and I'll throw it in a cursed car as well. Now, the RK Engines mod is limited. Like, if say you use like an inline four, or say you use a V8, but the car normally has, oh hello Tayet, the car you're driving and put the V8 in normally has an inline four, it's still going to use the inline four engine model, but it will be running physics, or the actual performance of the car will be that of the V8 because, and it'll also sound like the V8. It'll just be using the inline 4 model. It's actually not a bad. Oh, I damaged it. Probably on that curb. That's probably why it started to feel a little uneasy. Anyway. Why did that work? No. There we go. See, that's more what I was aiming for. Alright. Now let's make a cursed car. Also, I do have some preview cars. I'll show that. I'll show that first. Here we go. This is a car that I used to test the rules. That is quite a sound. What did I put in here? Yeah, that sounds about right. Flat 6. I like the flat 6s. But this is one of the cars that you can run. I forgot. It's a turbocharged flat 6 pushing out 803 horsepower. I think it has a top speed of like 210, so it's on the lower end, but the acceleration isn't bad at all. I mean, hang on, what even was that? 0 to 60? 0 to 60 and fast. Hello, welcome back, Tate. I'm gonna try to redo that because I'm still on controller. Yep, still 0 to 60 and fast. Can I try the TC101 rally? Maybe. I might this stream. I haven't remembered how to get into the BeamNG files. And also this one is this stream is very short. Like, we have 20 minutes left maybe, and it's dedicated to this prototype rulebook for endurance series. So right now I'm just gonna make the most cursed engine, or one of the most cursed engines you can have, and put it in this car. Because I feel like it. And I'm a crazy person. And you can't stop me. Actually, what wheels are we running? Okay, that's not the wheels we can run. We can run wider wheels on this in this racing series. Weekend stream will probably be the dirt racing series. Some unofficial testing, because I might try to make it radiator stuff, but that would stop you from using automation cars, so maybe not. This series is gonna be just beam cars, but you can customize them like crazy. So you'll still have the racing series where you can use your custom automation cars. Don't worry. This isn't even like confirmed to be something that I will do. This is just like a thing that might happen possibly. Oh, that's good. No interior panels. All gone. Ooh. Ugh. That's not something I like. Disc brakes? Disc brakes? On this thing? Crazy, isn't it? No passenger seat. Only driver seat. Also, yes, I'm making an exception to the engine, or to the body panel rule for this car. Post in Discord, thanks. We'll definitely take a look at it next stream. Alright. Exhaust. Side pipes. There's more power. Actually, that interferes, so that would mean you're allowed to run... Hang on, what's the cut fender? Cut fender... You are allowed to get rid of the fenders then on this. Oh, that's a lot of shaking around. But because the exhaust interferes, that does mean you are actually allowed to get rid of the fenders on this car. The rest of it maybe not, because it doesn't interfere, which means they are necessary body stuff, so. Door panels? No more door panels. Those aren't necessary. Let's just get rid of that. And now... Just... No, that's not what I wanted. There we go. For the engine. This is the cursed thing I was talking about. We're gonna run an inline 4. Not any inline 4, though. No. We're gonna be running a 6-liter inline 4. I don't know why. You know what? No. 2 liters per cylinder. More than even. 2.05 liters per cylinder. This is not gonna go well. But it's gonna be funny. Actually, it might go fine. I don't know. We're using it on a car that's not gonna be particularly good in this series anyway, so. If you guys want this to be like an actual series, this endurance racing series where there's just going to be one singular 4-hour race per stream, just let me know, because I think it's really cool, but if no one's going to show up for it, what's the point? It would just be me driving around a track for 4 hours, in which case, why not just drive around the track for 4 hours normally? because that would be the same thing. Can't have piston cooling nozzles. No VTEC. That's not, no. There we go. Did I ban the race intakes? I think I might have actually gotten rid of that rule, so yeah, if this doesn't make too much power, then guess what's allowed? I did not remember that I took out that rule, so neat. There's multiple inline four sounds? Huh, there are. Did not know that. That is not the fuel pump I wanted to put onto this thing. That's better. It's probably gonna need that there. Car runs on gas. So the thing is with this series is automation cars aren't allowed because you have to run a specific radiator. So, unfortunately, the TC101 won't be able to compete in the endurance racing series. Not Group 88 anyway. I might have another one for automation cars eventually if enough people show up for 4 hours of just racing. Why? Well, I'm about to show why. So this radiator, the rules for it, the reason it's called Class 88 is because the radiator effectiveness has to be 8,800. Tick with 2 zeros, Group 88. The radiator area has to be 0.75. The coolant volume has to be 7, and the max fan speed has to remain at 20. But I don't think you can do that with the automation cars. You can't have it be like this exact radiator, which is necessary. You can change those things in automation. Yeah, I just don't know if you can change them to be exactly the same, which is like it has to be the exact radiator on every single car. With these specs, it has to be the RK mods, or the RK customizable radiator, specifically so that it has all of that same stuff, so that, why? So you can't push past too much horsepower. I wanted people to be able to run whatever engine they wanted at however many RPM and not have a specific rev limit they had to meet. But I still wanted to have at least similar performance throughout everything. So that's why the 200 brake horsepower limit. I didn't want to have a set brake horsepower limit on this series. Because with the brake horsepower limit, remember what happened where I just had this constant power engine somehow that I managed to tune. So this one's higher horsepower, so you can't do that nearly as easily, and you can't change the ignition timing stuff, and you can't, it just makes it a little bit easier for me to have a bunch of engines that all do well in different areas, but all have generally the same performance, and I find that fun because then you have cursed objects like this 8.2 liter inline 4 that I'm building competing with normal race engines and have it be balanced. Hang on, let me just like change this so that I have slightly better. So what's this race for? This is just me messing around and like testing things to see what does and doesn't work, and if there's a way to like find something that's not balanced, but so far I think it's fine. Hang on, where's the camshaft? What? There we go. Seriously, didn't do much? Huh. $796, almost. And around 800 horsepower is where at this track you begin to have some overheating problems, which is exactly what I wanted. You push past like 840, you don't even, it's difficult to get a lap before bad things happen. Very bad things start to happen. So this is about where I would stop pushing the horsepower. Goodness, that is a very torquey engine. I mean, it would make sense. It's an 8-liter inline 4. It just doesn't have much rev capability, as evidenced by the fact that in a series with no RPM cap, we are running 6,500 RPM. But that's mostly fine, actually, because it helps with friction. Not having as high of an RPM, it's just gives a little less room to play around with. Synchronizer damage, that's bad. Oh, that's a wall, that's a wall. Okay. This thing does not have the greatest steering. Also, technically, this is allowed. You can run this car, this exact car, if you wanted. I don't know why, because it has no downforce. But there's nothing stopping you. Why did it... How fast can this thing get? My cat has woken up. Ow. That's my shoulder! Oi! Hey. Why are you so bad? Hang on, I'm sorry. I have to go. Really? Really? Why? You scratched my shoulder while I'm doing something. evil. There we go. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, no, cat evil. Yes, get it. No, no, that was bad. TC1 in Discord. TC101 not allowed. TC101 is... the dirt racing series, the TC101 is still gonna be allowed. So, I'm not gonna... the dirt racing series will... Unless somehow enough people are willing to go racing for 4 hours on some random guy's stream with like 3 viewers. Unless there's enough people willing to do that. Although I guess you could actually put together an endurance racing team. There's no rules against that. I would allow that. You can just swap out halfway through. Just like have 2 people on the same server with the same car. It would just have to be inspected. Did I get it? Hang on. Let me check if I did. I probably did. Yeah, the TC101 is in there. I might check it out, but we are also running very, very short on time. We are also like 10 minutes past where I scheduled this stream to stop, so I don't think I'll have time to do it, but keep in mind, it's not going to be that long until my next stream. It's Wednesday right now, I believe. Dang it. I looked down at chat. This is why we don't... This is why you don't look away from the road when you're driving. More synchro damage, wonderful. You can run something similar to the TC101 in this series. Just, you can't run the TC101. Yup. That's about right for the driving I just did. Actually, last stream, someone said they couldn't hear the sound alerts. Is that still a problem, that people can't hear the sound alerts? Oh, that's bad. I need to fix that. I don't know what's the... I don't know what's the problem with it at the moment. I'll fix it at some point. I just have to figure out why it isn't working. But... hang on, I'll look at chat once I get down this straightaway, because... yeah, we're not going that fast with this car. Although I suppose it's not overheating, so you could push it a little more. Alright, now that I have a chance... the FC8 or FC6... so this racing series is limited to just automation cars that can use the RK mod ultra customizable radiator. Unfortunately, so you cannot use any of the automation cars. Sadly. 9-liter inline 4 cursed object. Even if it's on par with the others, even if it's on par with the others. I'm just wanting to make sure that there's nothing, well, because if I allow one person to have an automation car, I'd have to, like, manually test. I'd have to either make rules for a separate automation radiator, and also hope that automation doesn't have anything that can get around it. Or I would have to test every change of every automation car entered. And both of those are going to be a little bit too difficult for me. Not going to lie, I think I'm the only one who uses automation, maybe, but also keep in mind, I just want to make sure that if anyone else ever does, I'm not having to spend like 3 hours testing cars just to make sure they have the same horsepower and they have the same, or they have the same straight line performance, the same tire performance, and the same overheating issues and the same fuel usage, all of that stuff. I just want to make sure that I don't have to spend too much time doing that. But yeah, I think that's going to be most of the stream for today. We made a cursed inline 4 that pushes out 850 horsepower, is naturally aspirated, and is 9 liters. You can, because of the rules of this, where you can run whatever engine you want and it's RK mods, you could run a truly cursed engine, like an inline 3 that is like 10 liters and revs to like 3,000 RPM, and if you can get it to be competitive, then, I mean, that's an option. But I think that's going to be most of it for me for today. I'm going to finish it off by doing one lap in like an actual car that I might use in the competition, just because it's it's easy enough to drive. With the controller, and it's not a bad contender. So I'll just be talking and responding while I'm driving this. This might be my car during the competition, if it ever happens. If you do want to see this happen, then yeah. This'll probably... This or the... You know what? I'll make one more car for y'all. One more. More just like modify a car that I made already. Actually, this might just be the car I race. Anyway, I'll finish it up with this one. I might be driving something similar to this if this series ever actually gets... If I do end up doing this. I don't know how often I would be doing this because, once again, it's a... Unlike with the... oh, goodness. Unlike with the dirt racing series, it's not just like a short race. This is like a full stream dedication. And people have to commit to it before it happens. Like, I'm gonna have to put out a poll to see how many people are actually gonna be there. And it's also going to be 4 hours of one track. Probably this track. Because this is what the cars were built for. Why is the airspeed indicator broken on this car? Oh, there's the temp gauge going off. Might let off the throttle soon. There we go. Just bring the temps down a little bit. It's gonna... That's one of the reasons automation might be a little bit difficult, because I'm gonna have to test it on this track for a few laps. Just to make sure it has the same temperature stuff going on as every other car. I might be able to make like an automation class, but it'll be a little bit difficult to balance it with the Beam cars at this time, because I don't want to use a specific like set power cap. I don't like those too much. We are half an hour over schedule. Not half an hour, 20 minutes. Also, yes, you will have to actually do refueling stops. I'll pull into the pit lane, I guess, at the end of this lap to demonstrate kind of how that's going to go. This car might actually not be the one I'm using. It's so heavy that the brakes are overheating constantly. I don't know, I just like how the way the Soleil went over handles. It's an easy car to drive, which is fairly important on a 4-hour race. I don't think I'll be using this engine though, I might make a different one. Also, there's no pit lane speed limit. So you can, like, send it through the pit lane. Because, well, there's no one to hurt in BeamNG. So, as confident as you are, that's how fast you can go. But anyway, this is how the stops are gonna go. You're just gonna pull in, stop, and then the moment you hit 0 miles an hour, you can just reset, and then... Yeah. So, let me know what you think of this. Because I like endurance racing a lot. Also, the Soleil Wendover's lights are my favorite in the whole game. You cannot beat these. I know there's pop-up headlights, but I really like these ones more. Anyway. Yeah. I think that's... I think... Um... You know what? I don't think. Let me know what you think of this series, because I actually do really like the idea of me having my own little endurance racing series in BeamNG.drive. With like 5 people racing at a time. So, yeah. If you like it, maybe I'll have it. I might think of making an automation class, but also if I make it multi-class, that's gonna spread the racing pretty thin. Like there's gonna be one car in one class, and then another car in another, and that's it. Those are the cars. So maybe not. I think I'm just gonna stick with BeamNG cars. So sorry about that. I know you like your um, automation cars. Maybe I'll make a third series that's like a Spec TC 101. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I'm probably not gonna bother rating anyone. I'm still gonna rate someone. All right. Let's see who we're gonna raid. I don't think I've raided this person before, but we're going to raid them because they're pretty cool. So that's it for today's stream. Sorry it's like really short, but I don't have much time right now. It's midweek. All right. Well, where's the thing that I just had? There it is. Okay. Have good day wherever, good day, night, wherever you are. If you want to have this racing series, I'll have something up in the Discord. It's like I'll have a poll up. All right. Have a good one, everyone.